This video should probably be something I do in like August, but no. Alas, we're here. I want to show you something before we get started. Look at her. Ladies and gentlemen, her. Hold on. I want to show you fully her. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, her. Do you see this wall? It's my most prized possession in my room. Isn't it nice? All the posters are from Limited Fire. This video wasn't sponsored by Limited Fire, but it is in fact sponsored by Skillshare. So thank you so much for Skillshare for sponsoring this video. We love you. If you want to hear more about them, make sure you stick around so I can tell you a little bit more about the brand, the website, the company, Y'all know the drill. What's up, you guys? It's me, Aliyah, and welcome back to my channel. Hope you're having an amazing day. You look amazing, you look gorgeous, and you just simply deserve everything good that is coming to you. Just wanted to remind you in case nobody told you. You guys read the title. Today I'm going to be doing a how I take my notes on my iPad / how I study with my iPad, because I've been using my iPad or just like technology for learning since last semester, and it's just become something I really use into my routine. But this semester I really started utilizing different features and just really found like my way with my study routine and how I get my work done and everything. And I want to share with you guys because quite a lot of you have been asking me how I take my notes, what iPad I use, my study methods and all that. I'm going to be going over all that in today's video. So before we get into today's video, I want to go ahead and give a huge shout out to today's video sponsor, which is Skillshare. If you don't know what Skillshare is an online learning platform with thousands and thousands of courses ranging from marketing, productivity, digital design, and photography, and many, many more. Me personally, I've been kind of having a down time with YouTube. You can tell that my views have been kind of down. For everybody who's been pointing out to me, yeah girl, I see it in my analytics, and sometimes it really takes a knock on my creative confidence. So I'm taking the Skillshare class, Confidence for Creators, 5 exercises to grow your confidence and self-care, just to, you know, as well as making sure my character and my social media presence is still there and still intact, and I'm okay off camera as well, because although it's nice, I still have a very good job and I love it here. YouTube algorithm is playing in my face and I don't appreciate it. So if you're interested in anything Skillshare has to offer, the first 1,000 people to click the link down below and sign up for Skillshare Premium will get it for a free trial, because y'all know I love free shit. So why would I not give you free things as well? I personally love Skillshare. It's usually about $10 a month, but hey, free $10 a month. So make sure you're one of the first 1,000 people who click the link down below, sign up for Skillshare Premium to get a limited time free trial for Skillshare. Thank you, Skillshare, for sponsoring this video, and let's go ahead and get into how I take my notes and study using my iPad. I don't know what that little dancey dance was, but I am not feeling it, so we're gonna act like I never did. Before we get into anything, I'm gonna go over the how I take my notes. Chapter 1, what supplies do I use? I use a 4th generation iPad Air in the color space gray to take my notes, and I use a 2nd generation Apple Pencil. On my Apple Pencil, I found that it was slipping and sliding as I was writing. Bars? I think yes! So since it was slipping and sliding and making it hard to take my notes, I decided to get a little pencil grip cover that is baby blue, because that is literally my favorite color in the whole world. And then my iPad case is actually just from Amazon, but for right now I just have this soft matte black one on here. It's not really protective, it's just to keep like a grip on it whenever I have it somewhere and want to leave it somewhere. And this is my main setup. The app I like to use when it comes to taking notes is Notability. I've tried many note-taking apps. I lied, there's like 2. Notability does cost money. I think it's like one fee of like $8, $9, $10 something in there, and then you have in-app purchases if you want. They're totally optional. I've gone this far without using in-app purchases. Now that that's out the way, I actually want to give you guys like a mini, you know, like Notability kind of tutorial and just show you like my favorite, you know, features that Notability has. The way Notability looks, it's like a little blue thing with like a microphone and your pencil, whatever. This is my school folder if you wanted to know what's in there. So cute and fire, I know. And when you open Notability, you literally go on the home page and whatever you have is there. You can see that I was kind of typing because I do have more tools that I like to use that are kind of extra and optional, and I'll explain that later in the video. But right now we're talking about the basics on what I use to take my notes. This little T is for title, this little pencil is for writing, this is the highlighter, eraser, cut lasso tool, the finger, and I don't know what this is. I really don't. So we're not going to try to figure out what it is today. We'll figure it out in the update notes from Apple. Something that I like about Notability is the customization of it. So when I say customization, you see all these colors for the pencils. Yeah, the first 2 are from Notability, and the one with the 2 hearts that I'm on currently are the ones that I put in there. When it comes to like me taking notes, I like to have my own personal experience, and I feel like even though Notability is a great app, I just can't find myself using these colors often. Like, hello, it's giving booger green. Nobody wants to do that. So I actually went on Pinterest and found the hex codes for these zebra mild liners, if you know what those are, and just kind of put them in the you know, customized color for Notability, and boom, new color. So now I have a whole slide full of zebra mild liner colors, as long with just some custom colors that I wanted to add. And literally I like vibrant colors when it comes to my notes, because I just find that it's easier for me to see and it's more fun to look at if something is colorful. I do this in my Notability, my Notion, literally the whole freaking 9. And then the cool thing about it is these also transfer to the highlighters, so there's literally a highlight color as long as a matching pencil color, and you only have to put it in there once. It's kind of amazing. I just realized that at the top of this note it said, "What is wrong with him?" so mad at? I have no idea. The lasso tool is also something that I utilize a lot. So if I write something, this is usually not my handwriting, which you will see, but if I take the lasso tool, I can circle something and literally move it around. I can resize it if I want to. Really easy to use. Something I do a lot because I find myself, you know, overestimating or underestimating how big my writing is going to be for a certain set of notes, because my note like handwriting size is never consistent for some reason. My favorite features for this like note-taking app for me personally is the different paper styles that you can have. You can see that I have like a paper style of white grid, and if you go up here to the top right hand corner, there's like this paper option. You can literally change the color of the paper. There's so many different colors and styles, like they have cork boards or just plain colors. I usually like to use the white or black option with this type of grid because as you can see, you can add lines, grid, dotted if you're into that kind of thing. So I just usually like to go with black or white with a hint of tiny things, because once you write your notes, you can also take the grid option away and then you can make it seem like you just write straight. That's my favorite thing to do. I don't know about y'all. And then my last favorite feature for this like app, or just something I find myself utilizing a lot, especially when it comes to notes, is this kind of microphone feature. So if you click the microphone at the top, it starts recording anything or voices that are just like around you. If you're in a lecture, it starts recording that. It's just like a microphone for the app. So if I were to stop it, it shows you where it cuts off and like where it picks up. So if you were to stop it and start again, it shows you that. You can play it, cut it, edit it, delete it. You can share it, I believe, and things like that. It has things such as note replay. So if my teacher were to say the definition of a subject is, I could put subject as they were writing subject and then this definition, so you can literally see, you know, like what you're writing as they're talking. It's like a real-time, you know, thing like that. So that's one of my favorite features of this app, and it actually helps me a lot when it comes to taking my notes. You're probably wondering, okay, Aliyah, we went over your supplies, we kind of talked about all that, but how do you actually take notes? How do you set up shop? I usually set up my Zoom lecture on my computer and then my iPad on this lovely stand, and what I find myself doing during class is typing out notes or writing down stuff for PowerPoint. So usually this stand is somewhere. If I need to write something down, I will obviously take the iPad out the stand, but I usually either put this in the stand while I wait or type using this. I usually type just because, you know, it's easier, but if I'm writing on a PowerPoint, of course I'll sit in front of me. And while my teacher is talking, I will have the voice recording option on my Notability ready and going, just in case I miss something or I write something too slow, so I miss the thing that she says after that. And then it just, you know, kind of flows like that. Usually when I just say rough writing, it's literally just scribbles. Like, I don't know how else to explain it. It's a rough writing for a reason. I'm writing roughly. I'm not trying to make it pretty. I'm just trying to get the information to where I can get it, because not all my teachers record their Zooms and post them for privacy reasons, which I respect, which is why I utilize that voice feature so much. But usually while I'm in class, I just do the rough writing / scribble writing, chicken scratch, just so I can get the information down on the paper and ready to go. And me personally, I don't know how people make pretty notes in class. I simply can't do it. I can barely retain the information while my teacher is talking. Pretty bad if you ask me, but you know, it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out one day at a time, all right? While I'm taking my notes or am I in a class, I usually like to put on a real-time study with me on my iPad or my TV, mainly my TV, just because I find that when I'm on my iPad, I get my notifications, or I'm curious about who texts me, because my text messages literally go through my phone, my computer, and my tablet. I put myself on Do Not Disturb, of course, but you know, that kind of itching feeling that I have something to check really like makes me want to check my stuff. But when I have like a study with me and like a person working next to me, even though we're in a lecture and everybody's working next to me, I just feel like it helps me a lot more. Oh my god, I forgot I'm filming a video. Jeez, I'm sorry, you guys. So now I'm going to talk about how I make my notes pretty, because even though it's the bare minimum, I like to look put together even though I'm not. Welcome to social media. My name is Aliyahsimone and I'm a productivity fraud. But I'm here to talk about how I make my notes pretty. So remember how I said that I get these hex codes with like colors? All I did was look up such and such hex codes and put them in on my iPad because it was that easy. And me having just like colors that kind of work together makes my notes look pretty, because if you have like a red over here, a purple over here, a brown over here, it's not gonna look like cohesive. And I feel like when your notes look cohesive, they look prettier. So another way that I like to make my notes look pretty is literally just taking my time with writing. So usually after I do my scribble notes later that night or after that lecture, I like to spend time reading over the notes that I have and just kind of rewriting them in a note on Notability. So I like to take my time with my writing, because I notice when I rush, I'm literally just scribbling stuff down. Like, I'm not trying to make it look pretty. I just want to retain information. So when I rewrite my notes, I want to make sure that they're legible and I understand what's actually happening. So this is the time that I usually like to take in a lot of my information. And then with that being said, web, I see a lot of notes like on Pinterest and these study hack pages where they literally write in like cursive and they literally take them hours, but sometimes it seems to be a little overwhelming. Like all the cursive and like the overly nice notes like kind of overwhelm me, because I know that when it comes to my notes, I want them to look nice, but I'm not a notes learning person, so rereading my notes all the time doesn't work for me. So going all out like that to rewrite my notes, it's not gonna benefit me. It was cute when I was like in the 6th grade and we were talking about slope and y-intercept, but like now that I'm in college, I don't have the time to do that all the time, and two, my brain will just tune out because then I'm just gonna focus on make everything pretty, and when I do that, I'm not learning anything. I'm just simply just trying to make everything look nice. Now, do I sometimes go overboard when it comes to notes because that class might be miserable and my notes are the only thing that help keep me going in that class? Sure, it happens at least once a semester, but this semester I dropped that class, so even show the comm theory. I'll see you in the summer though. So sometimes I do like to make my notes pretty, like overly pretty, but most of the time I just keep it very simple, basic headers, basic titles, and things like that. But sometimes I like to do go overboard. So maybe this video is kind of a catfish. I don't know. What y'all think? So another thing I like to do to make my notes look pretty is insert photos and graphs from my PowerPoints. I noticed that when I screenshot things and add it into my notes and then trace it like with my own handwriting and then delete the graph behind it so it looks like I drew it, it's also very accurate. It makes my notes look put together, and I also have references, and it adds just kind of like blocks, you know, kind of spaced off things to make my notes not look as monotone and very just, you know, bland. It kind of adds something to the notes if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Now we're gonna talk about my study method. I may seem like a terrible student right now because I was just failing a class, but it's not my fault. It's the teacher's fault because she can't teach. I literally worked my ass off for that class and I was still failing, which is why I dropped it. So you comm theory. Study methods are literally up to you. It depends on how your schedule works and everything like that. Me personally, I found the, hold on, I'm gonna say it right. It's the Pomodoro method. So you set a 25-minute timer and then you do work for that time period straight with no distractions. If you get distracted, you write a tally somewhere. So this is why I usually put my phone on the other side of the room, because my biggest distraction ever. It's the reason I can't do anything. We're not gonna talk about it though. You just do all your work or study during that time period. And after that 25-minute time period is up, you set a 5-minute timer for break and downtime. You can do whatever you want. Transition to a new class if you finish all your work or finish studying a section. So after about 4 of these sessions, you take a 30-minute break. So after 2 straight hours, you take a 30-minute break. Me personally, after about an hour or hour and a half, I take a 30-minute break just because it's easier for me to keep up with it that way. That's how I personally like to study and get my work done. Like, the reason this works for me is because I'm very competitive. I love racing the clock, and it really gives me a challenge because it's like, can I really do this in like 25 minutes? Like, how much information can I retain in 25 minutes for real? And it's so satisfying when you do this method and you could check off multiple things in one 25-minute session, because I don't know, just as a competitive person who likes to race against clocks and stuff, it's just really fun for me. It makes it super easy. So I just find it really cool that there's so many different types of ways that you can use this method. Now, sometimes depending on the subject, I really like to, you know, get versatile with the sessions that I do. So if I'm doing like a really hardcore reading session, I like to do 30 minutes on, 10 minutes off. You know, I just kind of have to adjust it to what my needs are for that class. But for the most part, I do the 25 minutes on and the 5 off, whatever really works for me. And then on top of having an attention span that's literally shrinking every day due to things like TikTok and like YouTube videos, my attention span is just really short now. So 25 minutes is actually feels like such a long time. Like, when I do this, I find myself checking the clock. 25 minutes is literally an episode of a show without any commercials in it, and for some reason I can barely sit through that, but we're working on it. I swear we're working on it. But enough of that. Let's go ahead and talk about something else. Last thing I want to talk about in this video is study inspiration, because when it comes to studying and taking notes and like looking for more tips on how to improve as a student, I feel like study inspiration is really important, especially if you want to get into being more productive but you don't know where to start. When it comes to like notes and stuff, what I like to do is look for inspiration, to look for notes that look like mine, that give me ideas to keep it spicy, because trying new things always makes experiences more fun, especially when you have to repeat them for school and stuff like that, or like work. So trying new notes and note setups always makes it more fun to do them, because it's really fun to see how it turn out and you can put your own little twist on things like that. And when it comes to productivity or just like study inspiration, when it comes to actually physically seeing how people do things, I like a few TikTokers who I will name right now. I really like the TikToker Study Fairy Risha. I hope I said that right. She actually made my Notion template. If you haven't watched my Notion video, you should definitely watch it. I also love the TikToker Studymatic and Study Side Notes Idea, just because they always post productivity content or just like little small stationery unboxings, and that's really what I'm into when it comes to school. When I also need a productivity boost, when I'm doing things, I obviously can't scroll through TikTok and look at like a 60-minute video for like 30 minutes straight. Something I also fell in love with was when I got to college was watching actual study with me's. I never saw how study with me's were beneficial when I was in high school, because high school work versus college work is literally, it's just like, college is like high school, but put it on crack when it comes to workload, depending on your professor. But because my major, I'm a communications major, I'm very paper heavy, reading heavy. Because we're in a pandemic, it's very easy to feel alone. I'm a very like introverted extrovert. I like being around people to do things by myself. I'm just very like driven by people around me doing the same thing, whether it be editing, homework. I just like having somebody there who's doing the same thing, so we can like do it together, but we're doing our own thing, if that makes any sense. So when it comes to real-time study with me's, I'll usually just pick a random one. I will literally just look up study with me, Pomodoro method, and then I will follow one that's, you know, following that method, so we're on the same like time frame. Most of the time I can do all my work if I like really buckle down and like sit through a 2 or 3 hour study session with somebody on my TV or my iPad, and that's pretty much it. So something else I also found via TikTok, there's these things called 24-hour study room sessions, but you can literally look up 24-hour Zoom study sessions with other students, and you can put your grade, and they give you a Zoom login, and you go in, and there's people who are also studying and doing work. So if you ever feel alone, you just need a productivity boost of somebody who isn't pre-recorded like I like, you could definitely use this as well. Definitely recommend some Zoom study sessions, whether it be with strangers or with friends, totally up to you. I'd like to mention that Quizlet is my friend. If you wanted to know, Quizlet is my bestie. I play for Quizlet Plus because I'm a sucker and I want big experiences for everything I do. So that's pretty much how I study, how I take my notes. Hope you guys enjoyed this little short video. Thank you so much again for Skillshare for sponsoring. Once again, the first 1,000 people to click the link at the top of that description box and sign up get a limited time free trial to Skillshare Premium. Make sure you guys follow my social medias. That includes my Instagrams. I have a spam account on Instagram now, so make sure you follow that. I have a Twitter, I have a Spotify. It'll all be linked down below for your leisure. Also follow me on TikTok. Sometimes I also post my own productivity stuff on there. If you need a boost, let me know. But with all that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you give it a huge thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're new. If your notifications haven't been working because the YouTube algorithm is literally against me right now, make sure you hit the bell notification, turn your notifications off and turn them back on, and make sure it has all and YouTube notifications are on in your settings. Follow me on Instagram for updates, especially my spam account for updates for videos. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much again for watching today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I can't see you guys in the next one. Stay cool. Bye, guys.